Welcome to Kick Back with Chris. Kick Back with Chris, the martial arts podcast.
Hi guys, and welcome to our Redcon 1 special edition of Kickback with Chris with an extra little announcement as well, but I'll get onto that a little bit later. So, joining me on the phone shortly, we have Mr. Mark Strange, who's going to be talking to us about Redcon 1. Now, sure you remember earlier on, I'm trying to think how many episodes back it was. It wasn't about 4 or 5 episodes back. We had Mark Strange. In fact, if you've not listened to that, you could stop listening to this now and go back and listen to the Mark Strange episode, because this will lead this one in really nicely. But Mark very kindly came on to the show to talk to us about his career in movies and producing as an actor, as a martial artist, and the things that he'd been doing. And in that episode, he did actually touch on Redcon 1 a little bit, but at the time, he couldn't talk too much about the film. Well, it's getting its release now. He's out and about. He's doing the promotional tours for it, and he's taken 25 minutes out of his time this morning to speak to us about Redcon 1. But before we go to that interview, what I want to do is just play a short audio clip from the trailer, just to give you a little bit of an idea of what it's about. I'll also, as I do actually mention in the interview, I will link to the trailer in the Facebook group in the show notes, so you can go check it out there. But have a quick listen to this, and then what we're going to do is lead straight into the interview with Mark Strange. It's a really fun one, this one, guys. Enjoy, and I'll catch you on the other side.
This is about extraction and nothing else. We keep it calm. We keep it sharp.
In 72 hours, the quarantine zone will be completely annihilated. A scientist. The only hope of finding a cure.
Anybody get the feeling they've already won this war?
Well, I got 8 clips in an assault rifle that says otherwise.
Fall back!
I have a positive ID on our target.
Listen to me, Dr. Rains. You can either come with us, or stay here with those things out there. There's something he's not telling us.
You're no better than those things out there!
We came here to find a cure. I am gonna complete my mission. My mission.
I deliver you from evil.
Okay, guys, so joining us on the line once again, we've got Mr. Mark Strange, who's very kindly agreed to come back to talk to us a little bit about Redcon 1. If you remember, guys, back on the last episode he was on, he couldn't really tell us much about it, but now it's got its launch, it's out there for the world to see, so I thought it'd be great to get Mark back on just to tell us a little bit about what's going on with the film, what's going on with himself, and what he's up to, because this is a very busy man right now, I'll tell you that much. Good morning, Mark, how are you doing?
Good morning, Chris. Yeah, I'm very well, very tired, but all good and all moving forward very nicely.
Yeah, living on high energy right now, I would imagine.
Yeah, I'm living on pure adrenaline right now, my friend.
Cool. So, Redcon 1, we did speak a little bit about it when you were last on the show, but at the time, things were sort of still finalising, so you weren't really able to tell that much about it. But now, obviously, it's hit the world. It's on social media. Lots of positivity around it. So I thought it'd be great to get you back on just to tell us a little bit about it. So can we go back to the start? Think right back. When did the idea for Redcon 1 first come about, and was it?
Well, it kind of came about when myself and Chi, the director of Redcon 1, we'd just done a couple of features, and we just wanted to kind of make something very, very fresh, very different. And we thought, what can we do? Well, what are some of the biggest kind of most popular movies in the industry is horror.
Yep.
We thought horror ticks the box. War films always pretty much do well.
Yep.
and we thought action always does well, action martial arts. So what we did, we fused all three elements together and created a script which I kind of co-wrote with Chi, and yeah, we just wanted to kind of make a big fun popcorn movie, action movie with horror and war, and that's what we set out to achieve, and it that when I was writing the script with Chi, I looked at the script and thought, how the hell are we going to make this? Yeah, so I'm reading every page, and every page is mega books kind of thing, on production value on each page, and I was thinking it's going to be a tough challenge, this. So and you know me, Chris, I always strive, and I love challenges, and it's I think going into the film industry and producing your own material and creating your vision and trying to make something fresh and new is a very difficult kind of thing to do, and what we did with Redcon, I believe we've raised the bar with independent filmmaking. I'm just very excited now for everyone to see what we've achieved on such a low budget.
Fantastic. Now, I mean, I've seen the trailer, and I remember I was like, okay, I'll sit and watch this, and then I remember just sitting there going, wow, cool. this is like all the stuff that we all love.
Thanks, mate.
It's cool though, because I found, generally speaking, just with friends speaking to them, and the people that like the sort of like the martial arts action stuff, they do tend to like the horror stuff and the zombie stuff, and it's like, and I'm watching it all together, and I'm just like, this is what we've been waiting for,
No, thanks,
somebody
man.
somebody to finally do this. Now, just for the benefit of the people listening in that perhaps haven't seen the trailer yet, could you perhaps give sort of a quick overview of what the film's about?
Yeah, sure. It's basically about excuse me.
All right.
It's about eight. It's about 8 soldiers, special forces soldiers, like an international kind of specialist team, the best of the best, get sent in to a quarantine Great Britain. There's been a virus outbreak, and it's literally the entire UK has been, most of the UK has been quarantined. And so we're an elite special forces team that gets sent in to extract a scientist who's responsible for the outbreak, and he's hiding in the quarantine zone, and our mission is to go in and find him, and literally it's let's just say the team have a very, very bad 48 hours in this quarantine Great Britain, and it just literally everywhere you turn it's just pure I obtained violence, basically, and martial arts and war with a new enemy, rather than you see all these war films and it's kind of it follows history and what kind of the enemy is, but this is a brand new enemy, and what we tried to do is take the fast infected type creature from 28 days 28 days later and fused it. We thought, well, let's think what we can do about making it more high risk. So now, for example, if you become infected, if you were a free runner, say, you'd still be able to do free running on a heightened level.
Oh, cool.
So and then if you were a soldier, you'd still be a soldier. But you still have them elements of of what they were in a past life. So it has created a very new vibe. So you now can have the infected now can fight back as well as eat you, kind of thing. So it becomes
that's so cool.
It becomes a very, very different kind of concept in a sense, and that's what I'm excited for everyone to see, and something a bit fresh, something a bit new. And I love the soldiers that go on the mission. It's just it's kind of like if I was fusing a few movies together, I'd probably say it's the team from Arnie's Predator, and with a mix of 28 Days Later, and with martial arts as well on top of that. So it kind of again, it ticks all the boxes, if you know what I mean, and it's something that both myself and Chi was passionate about, sort of doing something a little bit more fresh, if you know what I mean, and new, and because I'm not a fan of going safe with things. I want to do something different all the time, Yeah.
No, it's cool. I've been waiting for a zombie action, like military film, for so long. There was actually, I can't remember the name. Was it Versus? I think it was a Japanese film where there's a guy.
That's correct. I've seen that. Yeah.
In the woods with the sword and the zombies and everything. I'm like, this is so cool. Somebody needs to make this again now. Like this sort of same sort of idea. And I'm glad you've come along and done it, because I mean, what you were talking about there explained something for me, because I remember watching the trailer. And I believe it's a really cool shot. I think it's you that's in it. And there's a circle of big circle of zombies all around, or infected, should we call them? And somebody does like a side somersault into the middle of the. It's a cool slow motion scene.
And boots me, man.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah,
and sticks it right in your chest. Did you take that shot? Was that you?
That was me.
Oh man,
I did get booted. Yeah, it was. It did hurt as well. So, but the show must go on, and you carry on in that scenario.
Absolutely.
So,
I was going to ask you. Go on. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, but that particular scene was a very, very tough day for me. It was. It's a really cool sequence in the film as well, and going back to this story as well.
Yeah.
Just backtracking a fraction, the thing that this has as well, it has the kind of Mad Max feel to it as well. You have street gangs and all that type of stuff in there as well. So you've got the threat of not just the infected, but people that are living off the land as well, who have gone a bit nuts as well. So it gives that kind of again an added layer of how do you put it? An added layer of kind of violence and an added layer of kind of risk factor for the team.
Additional things to consider. Yeah, no, that's a really cool idea. I was actually going to. You've touched on it a little bit, but I was going to ask, if you had if there was like a I don't know if these two are connected or not. Maybe they are. A favorite moment or the hardest scene. So like the kind of, I don't know. Sometimes people lump them in the same thing, but there's the one. Is there any one particular moment throughout the shoot that really stands out in your mind that makes you think that was really cool, or that was really tough, that was a hard
well to be honest, our DOP Lorenzo Levine, he's created a beautiful look with Chi for the film, and to be honest, the entire thing was tough. Yeah. It was, again, it was so, the movie is so ambitious.
Yeah.
And obviously because I had multiple roles, I play one of the main lead soldiers in the film. I'm one of the producers of the film. I created most of the action in the fights for the film as well. So I was choreographing pretty much most of the stuff as well, and working with all the other actors as well. I was literally, the entire thing's a blur now. Yeah.
So, you're doing the catering as well, by the sounds of it. Jeez, man.
No, that's one thing I didn't do. So I'm not really a good cook, man. But no, the entire experience was, in this type of movie, you've got to think on your feet, and you've got to be creative in a sense of how to make that kind of page come alive on screen, and when you're on a limited budget, you've got to be very creative with it, and we're not fortunate to have like a massive studio budget or anything with this, so you've got to kind of make it creative,
Yeah.
make it entertaining for the fans and for all the general public to
Sure.
enjoy an hour and 57 minutes of an action epic.
Yeah,
So
I mean, that being said, though, credit where it's due. One of the things that you've always been, and I said this on the last interview, one of the things that I've always thought about yourself as in your producer role is you do manage on now, as you say, on a small budget to make these things look like they've got a huge budget thrown into them, and that's really cool. How you manage to pull so many strings? I don't know how you manage it.
well, as a producer, you know the thing is with Redcon, we had a decent prep time.
Yes, sure.
We developed it over quite a few years before we even started shooting it. So what we did, we built contacts. So we built some amazing partners. Obviously, Carlos Gallardo is one of our exec producers on the film. He's Robert Rodriguez's partner, and it's quite exciting. He's flown in from the States today, actually. So we're off to Comic-Con,
I was about to ask that.
Glasgow Comic-Con, which is tomorrow. So we'll be on the main stage, the panel with our good friend Mike Fury, hosting the panel, which is brilliant. So I'll be there with Akira, Oris, Carlos, and Carlos plays one of the main soldiers along on the squad with me as well. Okay. So it's great to, from his El Mariachi days, he's now plays Sergeant Reeves on the team. No, it's literally, we literally had a good length of time. So when it comes to getting like tanks, vehicles, making all that big production value and that movie come to life in the sense as a war film, we went everywhere. We met everyone who has this type of thing privately. Like one of our friends, Andrew Baker, he has nearly 90 tanks. He owns 90 tanks. So he was amazing and very supportive with the film, and many other kind of collectors that came on board really helped, and it gave it that kind of big feel. It's not many independent films have tanks and helicopters in, so that gives it that kind of kind of big feel, which is something that me and she wanted from the very beginning, and many sleepless nights of writing the script as well, so many drafts of the script, but no, we were really pleased with and we really thank everyone that has supported the film from the very beginning and up until now, really. And we're really excited for everyone to see what we've achieved. Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to be totally worth it when you get that audience reaction, with the moments that are coming up and you think this is the bit, and then you get that reaction. That must be such a fantastic feeling when that happens.
No, definitely, man, and definitely I can say pretty much this film is very dark, it's very bleak, does have some dark humor in it as well, right. It's just violent as hell, man. So
you sold it.
Which hence is the 18 certificate that the BBFC gave us. So
you sold. We've got tanks, we've got infectors, we've got martial arts, we've got guns, we've got perfect. Up my street. Everybody in the martial arts world and the action movie world want to see kind of M4s, fists, knees, kicks, combined. It's just a bit of a winner, isn't it? Absolutely.
So, and we've got a nice little storyline going right through the film as well. Yeah. So, it's great following the team on this mission.
Brilliant. Well, what I am going to do, I did this previously. I'm going to link the trailer in the Facebook group and everything, and I encourage everybody, as if you're going to need any encouraging after listening to us two talking about this. But they'll go and check the trailer. Yeah. And obviously, this is. I mean,
thanks, mate.
No problem. It's one of these cool moments where I can say it's Friday today, and this is actually going out today. We're recording this in the morning. It's just after 10 in the morning, but this will be online later on this evening. So anybody that is around and does want to get to the Comic-Con to see you there, and what did they need to do? Do they need to book tickets, or is it?
Yeah, I think it's quite a popular Comic-Con, this one, and I think we are looking to do the London one as well.
Oh wow!
Later in October. So, but yeah, the Glasgow Comic Con, you can get tickets online, and as I say, Chi, our director, will be there. I'll be there as one of the main actors, along with Carlos Gallardo and Oris, our lead, and Kira from Joey's Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Obviously, Kira plays one of the soldiers as well.
Very cool.
And Iwana, one of our producers as well. So we'll have a nice big panel, and we're on the main stage at 12 noon.
Cool.
We're going to have a bit of fun and maybe show the trailer there and stuff as well.
Get your questions ready, folks. Get there, get to that Comic-Con, show your support. That is the really important thing, guys out there as well. Listen to this. These sort of films, these guys really need your support by, paying to go and watch these films. So, get off your bums, go buy tickets, go watch it.
I appreciate that.
It is. I think people sort of, they take films for granted a little bit, and I don't think they realise.
Yeah, sure.
If you love this sort of stuff, you've got to support it. You've got to.
No, appreciate that.
Hand in the wallet, and pay for it. It's
yeah. Well, the thing is about Glasgow, obviously the release of the movies is right across the UK.
Yep.
It's from London right through to Scotland. So all our Scotland audience that are there obviously tomorrow, and obviously the movie, we're going to be doing some Q&As at some of the screenings at the View and a few of the other cinemas in Scotland. All the details where you can book tickets are on redcon1film.co.uk. So you can literally go on that site and pre-book your tickets. And we're going to be doing some Q&As, me, Carlos and Chi, all around the country.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Some of the other cast members as well. And on the 27th of September, we're heading Rain Dance Film Festival
Very cool.
in London as well. So there's a screening there. A lot of the cast, main cast, are there doing a Q&A. But yeah, we're doing literally a road tour right across the country, visiting lots of different View cinemas. And doing Q&As after the screenings. So again, all the information is on the Redcon One Film Facebook. And if anyone wants to book tickets, they can go on the whatever city they're in that Redcon's on. They can go on the View Cinema kind of website, and they can put Redcon 1 in the search bar.
Very
all
cool.
The information comes up about the film with the trailer and everything. You can book tickets direct on the View website, book tickets and seats. So and it is the pre-bookings that really help us.
Yeah.
That got to tell yourself, our competition right now is Equalizer 2, Predator, and The Nun. So we've so our little independent movie, that we've made. We need the support. Come on, guys. We've got a lot of competition.
Let's take this viral. Let's smash it. Let's blow those films out the water. Let's show these big guys. We can do it.
Yeah, let's show them guys what we're made of. Yeah, exactly.
And
so
then you
so
can
go out now.
Come back.
Buy
You
tickets
can come back
and
out.
Support.
We can make Redcon 1 Part 2. And then
yes,
and then this is
help us make that happen.
I want you to see it happen.
By getting your seats and booking your seats now, the pre-booking really helps us. So, and it's going great. We, as I say, but we just need more and more support, and from the martial arts community as well. I know a lot of great people in this country that have gyms, martial arts gyms, and everything. We need your support to come and watch the movie, and hopefully come down to some of the Q&As as well. It'd be lovely to meet everybody as well, and tell them more of an insight how the film was made and stuff. So,
and I would imagine as well, if they're quite eagle-eyed, if they look carefully, they might be able to spot people that they know in there, because I know there was a lot of support from martial artists from around the country in this. So you need to watch this and sit there and see, can you spot anybody? You can make it a drinking
Yeah.
game.
it'll be kind of like Where's Wally?
Yeah.
Won't it? So, you know,
And you mean that in the nicest sense as well. No, he's not saying that any of you are Wallies.
Sense, you know, if you don't know what Where's Wally is, it's like this little character that's part of about 1,000 other characters, and you've got to find him. So
love it. Listen, fella, it's been great having you on. I really appreciate your time. I know you're a busy guy. But if Redcon 1 Part 2 does get made, if you need an infected with the ability to retain his Yorkshire accent and flick his legs around,
you're the man.
I'm here.
Yeah, I know exactly where you are, my friend. And can I ask you one thing, Chris?
Yes, sure.
Are you going to go and watch it?
I am going to do my very best to do so. So yeah, I am actually. I've already been on the website and had a look to see what spaces are available. But again, just quickly before you go, it's really what's really cool to see is there seems to be this resurgence at the moment of sort of the UK action scene again. It's like the early to mid 2000s. There's stuff buzzing off all over the place at the minute, which is so cool to see, and really exciting times. So
no, for sure, man. Well, another thing what I wanted to create and go back to with Redcon, I'm not, obviously visual effects and special effects are needed in films, but nowadays it seems too much. It's very heavy on that in certain films, and Redcon has it in the right elements in a sense that we couldn't put holes in Big Ben, so we had to do that in visual effects.
I mean, they wouldn't let you do that.
No, exactly. That's something I couldn't pull off.
Part 2.
I know, man. But anyway, it has its place within films, and for me, when they start crossing over and putting the CG into kind of action and stuff, I just don't like that. I'm a big fan of the 80s movies, old school action. And what we tried to do with this is do everything in camera, when it comes to the fights and even the gunfights and everything. We wanted to make it look as realistic and as real and feel as real as possible. I'm a massive fan of that. And I think nowadays the bigger kind of entities tend to bigger films. They just tweak too much kind of special effects into the action and stuff, and so back to the 80s, man. Redcon 1, go and see it.
Yeah, go and see it, guys. Cool. Well, thanks for your time. All the best for the weekend with the event. I hope you do manage at some point to get even like a couple of hours sleep at some point. That would be great.
I'm sure I will, Chris.
You're going to crash and burn, aren't you, at some point?
I will. Maybe after the tour is over, because the tour, the official Q&A tour starts on the 28th of September. That's the release in the cinemas from the 28th of September, and it's pretty much most of October. You can go to cinemas to check it out. So, but yeah, I think end of October I'm going to be like
one
probably
of the
crawling.
infected.
Yeah, I'll actually be walking like one of them. Yeah.
Cool, mate. Well, have a great weekend. Again, if anybody's out and about and you're at the Comic-Con or you're looking to go, obviously go support Mark and the rest of the cast and crew. Check out the Q&A panel. Go armed with your best questions. And yeah, all the best, dude. And I'll catch up with you again soon, because I know you've got lots of other things going on at the minute as well. I've seen on social media.
I have.
So
there's lots and lots going on in Stranger's World,
I like that. Stranger's World. I like that. Cool, mate. Well, have a great day, and I'll speak to you soon.
You're listening to Kick Back with Chris, the martial arts podcast, brought to you by www.onlinekicking.co.uk.
So big thanks again to Mark for his time today. As he mentioned, he's super busy. He's on the road promoting Redcon 1 up in Scotland at the minute. So if you're going to the Comic-Con event or you're thinking about it, do make sure you go along to their panel, check it out, give them some support. And as I say, get along to watch these screenings. If there's one in your town, please do go and support it. I'm in no way connected to the movie at all, but having worked in the industry previously, I know how much that these low budget films they do really rely on your help, your support in buying tickets. So go support them if you want to see more films like this. You've got to get digging into that wallet and supporting these films. As Mark mentioned, I didn't actually realise that there was a screening in Leeds. So if you're interested in going to that screening, I'm just trying to find the piece of paper. Yeah, he mentioned the 5th of October, I believe he said. So if you're interested and we want to say maybe coordinate something to meet there for the showing, that would be really cool to meet some of you guys that regularly send in emails and voicemails and interact on Facebook. That would be really cool to go down there and meet you guys, and maybe I could introduce you to Mark and other people involved. That would be super cool. So another thing that we've been teasing on I've been teasing on, should I say, over the last few days, and one of the main reasons for this show is we have a little bit of an announcement with regards to how things are changing a little bit going forwards, all positive I might add. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this quick break, and then when we come back on the other side, I'll be speaking to somebody on the phone.
Enjoy our podcast? Please remember to subscribe, rate and review Kickback with Chris on iTunes today.
Okay, guys, so I've been teasing about this one now for a few days on Facebook and also throughout this podcast, and posts that I've been putting out today, because obviously the cool thing about this is we're recording it today and it's actually going to go live today as well. So I've been speaking to this individual sort of on and off for a little bit now about this idea, and so, well, with no further ado, I think it's probably best to bring him online. So who have we got joining us today then?
Mr. Matthew Chapman.
Hey, there we go. So yeah, so it's Chit Chat with Matt. That's what we're going to call it.
Like it.
I like it. Good idea. So yeah, I've just a bit of a brief rundown on what we've been discussing. Matt came to us with the idea of possibility of getting involved with the show from time to time, maybe even every show. That would be really cool. That would be definitely cool for me. And sharing some of his insight and ideas into the industry. That's my phone ringing like a pro in the background. Sorry. Yeah, it was probably a call from somebody wanting to come to classes, so the timing for that was amazing. So yeah, I'm just going to hand over to Matt, let him have a quick chat, explain a little bit about what he wanted to do, and then we'll crack straight into it.
Yeah, I just wanted to sort of contribute a little bit and help martial arts instructors with their sort of basic business skills. I think a lot of martial arts instructors obviously struggle with the business side of things. They've got the teaching and the coaching, down perfectly, but what they need a little bit of help with, I think, a lot of the time is just the basics of business. Nothing too technical, nothing too difficult, but just getting a sort of solid education on that side of things. So that's my hope.
Yeah, that would. I tell you what, if anything, it would definitely help me. I know that's an area that I'm always liking to. And in fairness, I think a lot of the questions that we do get put through the website and indeed through Facebook, they tend to be in relation to the business side of martial arts and teaching. So having you involved with the podcast is going to be a brilliant. And I'm not just saying this because you're on the phone now, but your episodes are actually some of the more popular episodes that we've put on, of the 17 and a half we've done so far. So
that's cool.
It's cool. Wow. Thanks to the guys that have been downloading and listening. So
true, yeah. Thank you, listeners.
So what we're going to start with, that's the first topic we'd like to start with then for this very first episode with you involved. What would we like to discuss?
I think one of the most common problems in martial arts schools is obviously getting students in through the door. According to the stats, the average martial arts school in the UK has less than 20 members. So
really?
Yeah, and that might be intentional. You might want to keep it small and know your students. I think that's really good. But obviously, if you want to get more students, more than 20, you need to get your marketing down. So I thought we'd do a little bit of a talk today about 10 acts of marketing.
Fantastic. I think that's a really good idea. I'm going to get my pen ready. Actually, I'm going to write these down as you're going through them.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not going to tell you the 10 acts of marketing, but we can figure them out together. This is a concept I learned from Tom Callis. Tom Callis is an amazing martial artist, an amazing sort of business coach from America, and he came over to the UK, and I paid to spend 3 days with him, sort of picking his brains on all the sort of stuff that he's really, really good at. So if you haven't checked out Tom Callis, check out Tom Callis. He's a fantastic human being and coach. And one of the things that he said to me during those 3 days was that you need to make a minimum of 10 acts of marketing a day in your business, 5 days a week. Okay. So an act of marketing is anything that you would do to generate inquiries and get students. So the whole thing about doing 10 a day is the idea is that you build consistency and you're consistently marketing. And as we know, like most martial arts instructors, they kind of do a bit of marketing, get a few students in, then stop. And then the numbers start to drop, and then they start to do a bit of marketing, and they can get this up and down sort of famine feast approach to their marketing. But with this kind of 10 acts of marketing, you set yourself a goal that, you know, every day you're going to do 10 things that will bring you in students, and you do that 5 days a week, which adds up to about 300 odd acts of marketing a month.
Wow.
Which, you know, if you do 300 things to bring in students each month, you're going to bring in plenty of students.
Absolutely.
So obviously we all have different ideas about the types of things we'd like to do for marketing, and you obviously don't want to do ineffectual marketing. So, for example, let's say you've done flyers and you've flyered your local area once and you didn't get any response at all, zero response. You try it again, you still get zero response, and you try again, you still get zero response. Then maybe that's not the best form of marketing for you to use. So obviously you want to focus on 10 acts of marketing that actually work for your business and then, you know, bring in students. So if, for example, you do school talks and you've done school talks in the local schools, and you know that will bring you in 10 inquiries and you'll sign up 5 of those students, then that might be one of your acts of marketing on one day. If you, like me, know a lot about the internet and the Google side of things, and you know how to dominate Google, then one of your acts of marketing on a day could be to improve your Google rankings for your key search terms. If you're really hot on Facebook and you're doing lots of Facebook Live videos, you could do a Facebook Live videos from the middle of your class, you know. So there's literally loads of different ways of doing this, but the main point is you consistently every day do 10 acts of marketing to bring in students.
Okay.
Whether you're busy or not busy, or, you know, it doesn't matter, you're still doing it. It's part of your kind of daily practice that Tom Callis likes to go on about. Like part of your daily practice as a martial artist should be to train.
Yeah.
And, you know, part of your daily practice as a business owner should be to market. So that's part of the discipline of doing it. And, you know, when you start off, you can and thinking, oh, I've only got 5 ideas today, what am I going to do? But that's all right. You know, you could start with 5 a day, maybe build up 6 a day, 8 a day, 10 a day, but 10 is your goal.
10, wow. I think, I mean, I'll to be honest, I do something every day, but I don't think I've ever done 10 in one day, ever. And the whole point about doing 10 is it forces you to get a bit more creative. I mean, obviously, you could do something like 10 Facebook posts. But, I mean, if you're having a bad day, you could do that. But obviously, you want to start thinking a bit more creatively about how you could generate a bit more interest in your business. There's so many different ways. And the more you push yourself with this, the better ideas you come up with and the more challenging things you try. I love it. I was actually writing some of those down as you were saying them as well.
But also, you know, you want to focus on the ones that have the most bang for your buck, you know. So you'll know in your local area what tends to work and what tends to bring in students. And if you're not sure, you're going to have to test it and try out and find out what works best. And then you want to do that first. Obviously, that should be your priority for your daily marketing. Like, do what already works. But then when you get into like 7, 8, 9, and 10 of your ideas, you can try something a little bit more creative and doing different things to test it out.
Brilliant. I'm loving that. Cool. So maybe it would be really cool if anybody out there that's listening now wants to jump on the forum and actually put some ideas in for advertising that they use, different ideas, because sometimes, especially like myself, you know, we live in this little bubble where we're operating in our school and we don't really work with anybody outside of there. So it would be good to share some ideas, and if you have sometimes people come up with some really great ideas that you've never really thought of before. Some work in some areas, like you say, some don't. But you test the water, give it a go, see what works. But I'm gonna between now and next show, I am gonna do 10 acts of marketing every day.
Good. I like it. Yeah, and then we can come back and see how that's working. Suddenly you've got like 500 students. That'd be really good. I mean, I've got a book out. Obviously, my book, 99 Ways to Get a Student, has got 99 different ways to get a student in for your doors. But, you know, if people need ideas, they can get that book if they need to. But it would be kind of better for most people listening to actually do it themselves and work out.
Yeah.
Like, what's the what's a different way of getting a student in today? Like, how can I do it? I mean, essentially, if you think about marketing, there's only a few ways you can market your business. You can do it verbally, sort of face to face, speaking to people, doing presentations, school talks, demos, that type of thing. You can do it via the written word, so flyers and posts on websites, blog posts and Facebook posts that are text. And you can do it through pictures, so flyers again, posters, things like that. Posts on Instagram, which tend to be more picture based, and you can do it through video. So video promos, YouTube, etc. But it's about how you apply those, how you do it in a slightly different way, what makes you stand out and what works for you in your local area. So if you use those as kind of base ideas, but essentially it's not so much about coming up with really cool ideas about marketing. It's more about every day you're consistently banging away at it and working on it and forcing yourself to do it, because it's quite easy for us martial artists to go and teach a class and it feels fantastic and we enjoy it and we get the feedback from the students and we feel rewarded. It's a lot harder to sit down and actually do 10 acts of marketing every single day.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I know I'd rather do 100 push-ups than try and figure out 10.
Yes.
It's I suppose, like you say, it's one of those things that if you're doing it consistently, you will get into the habit. I dare say if you turn around to somebody who specialises in marketing, 10 for them a day would be easy, but you ask them to do the 100 press-ups, they'd probably...
Exactly, yeah.
they'd probably freak. So it's just getting... I suppose we're all quick enough to preach about getting outside of our comfort zone, aren't we, and being disciplined. So, kind of have to live by it, don't we? So definitely I'm going to be on this one. And I suppose as well with the 10 acts, a lot of it is part of the marketing mix, so it might not necessarily be that there's one in there that's like the golden the answer. It's just that they see a flyer, then they see a Facebook post, then they see your stall in the market, then they see their kid sees the school talk and gets the leaflet in the book bag, and it all sort of merges together, doesn't it? And I would say
Gordon Bertram's always talking about, it's all about the mix of marketing to create awareness in your local area, and he's like 100% right, of course. Just doing one thing alone will work, obviously. If you just do Google domination, you'll get a certain number of inquiries. You just do Facebook, you will get that. But it's the mix that gives it the power. Like you say, they say in average on more general marketing, not to do with martial arts schools, but usually someone needs to see your message 7 to 10 times before they bother to get in contact or buy from you. So it's not enough just to see your advert once. It has to be over and over. And if you think about, if you post out a flyer to someone and it pops through their letterbox, they might have just injured their leg or something, or they might be off work, they might not have money, they might have family commitments, they might be paying for their kids, whatever. So it's not the right time. So if that flyer just gets chucked in the bin and you don't flyer again, or you don't Facebook post again, or you don't get out in the local community, they're not going to find out about you again. It has to be continual. And this is the whole thing about 10 acts a day. It makes it consistent, and you're just doing it every single day. And 300 acts a month.
Yeah, wow. When you say it like that, geez. But no, I suppose another important part to this as well is actually tracking it at the back end as well, so that you know which ones are giving you the response. It's no good doing it and they're not actually making any... I mean, I've done that before, I'll be honest. I spend a small fortune on leafleting and whatever else, and then I don't actually bother to ask them, could I just check, where did you find out about us? How did you hear about us? I thought...
So you can ask them, obviously, and then, or you can make them kind of tell you if I do put out leaflets, I always put on the bottom of the leaflet, please bring this leaflet to your first class to get your free trial or whatever. So they actually turn up with leaflets, and then I've got a little stack of leaflets, so I know who's done that. Online, it's a little bit more tricky. You have to use like specific codes to track where it's coming from. But it's I expect most martial arts schools probably do 5, 10, 15, 20 acts of marketing a month, and you're going to get a result from 5, 10 or 15 or 20 a month. That's what you're going to get. Now, if you go up to 300 a month, can you imagine like how many inquiries you're going to get each month? And it's not rocket science. If you understand marketing and you know what works in your local area and you do more of it, funnily enough, you get more students. So
makes sense, doesn't it?
The problem is most martial artists don't like marketing. Either they are too humble, which is kind of cool, or they just don't actually like marketing at all. Makes them feel uncomfortable, so they don't really want to do it.
Yeah, no, I agree with that 100%. It's you've got to get yourself out there, though, haven't you? I mean, we've got all the things that the list of things that we're competing with is just increasing constantly. There's always new distractions and the new things coming around, and it's everything now, isn't there? I mean, you've got your regular sports and other activities that people like to do, kids like to do, but now you've got Netflix and Xbox and PS4 and iPhones and iPads, and it's just just constantly growing, isn't it? So
yes.
I suppose that's another topic altogether, though. But dude, thanks for your time. This is cool. So I'm guessing the plan for this is to try and get one of these on every episode where possible.
Yes.
Going forwards, and if people have got questions, is it cool for them to to send them in, and I can pass?
Well,
them
that
on
would be perfect, wouldn't it? Because you some people might already have their marketing down, but they're having problems with retention, so we can talk about that, or drills to keep the classes exciting, or also just we've been talking a lot recently about the stress of running a martial arts school for an instructor.
Yep.
And issues of dealing with the same problems repeatedly for decades.
I've got no idea.
So we could chat about that. I mean, if listeners want to send you a message about topics they'd like us to talk about and some ideas that we can brainstorm, that'd be really cool.
That would be really cool. I'm looking forward to this. This would be good, and it gives them another voice to listen to as well, besides mine.
Well, yeah, but your voice is cool.
Oh well, thank you. I've never had that compliment ever before. I've never been told that. Cool. Well, thank you for your time today, sir, and we'll catch up again next week. And in the meantime, listeners, if you've got any questions, like Matt said, please do send them in. You can get them to us via the SpeakPipe option on the website. Obviously, you've got the email form on there as well, and then Facebook or good old phone calls. You can give me a phone call, drop me a text. That's I have no problem with that at all. And then we'll compile a list and we'll get cracking with it.
Nice one.
Cool. Cheers. Well, catch up next week, sir.
Cheers. Thank you, Chris.
Cheers.
Bye, mate.
You're listening to Kick Back with Chris, the martial arts podcast, brought to you by www.onlinekicking.co.uk.
So big thanks to Matt for agreeing to be part of the show. I'm sure you'll all agree out there listening. This is it's a fantastic development for the podcast as a whole, and it's the next step forwards. Hence, this episode actually been listed as 17.5. Although it's actually going to come in as a full podcast length. I wanted this one to be more of an announcement show, just so that going forwards from episode 18 onwards, you'll all be aware of the changes that are coming and the improvements that we've got in the pipeline. It's really it's crazy to think. I mean, the really nice messages I get from people, on a weekly basis to say what the podcast means to them and how they look forward to listening to it. It's really cool to know that a little idea that I had is impacting people, albeit in a small way at the minute, but people are appreciating it and it is benefiting people. So. Yeah, I'm really, really pleased to have Matt on board. And as I said in the call just then, if you have any ideas, if you have any questions, please do get them into us. If it's, as Matt said, it can be relating to your business, it can be related to your training, ideas for drills, all that sort of thing. Or if you're having general sort of instructor problems that most people may not outside of the position appreciate, like Matt was saying there about we all from time to time suffer from sort of like an instructor burnout where the littlest things. I mean, I know I certainly do from time to time, but after 19 years of doing this as a job full time, it does it. There are days where you'd rather be doing something completely different. So sometimes it is cool to be able to talk through those, I won't say issues, but ways and means to sort of overcome those days. With other instructors, with people that might have got a lot of experience, and and also obviously his extensive knowledge of his online training and Google and things like that. So get those questions in, guys, and the plan is to have one included every episode, and going forwards should be really cool, and some great content to come. So to finish things up today, I just wanted to. Now, I hadn't actually got this planned in my notes, and it's just one of the things. It's an organic process of a podcast, I guess. I actually saw a post last night from a friend of mine who's part of the group Fighting for Autism, who I'm also part of as a coach ambassador. and the quite a horrible post, really, regarding to a young person who's suffering horrendous levels of bullying, and the group were asking for instructors to put out videos in support of their work and to encourage other instructors to get involved with the cause in any way they can, or simply just to make their clubs that little bit more inclusive. Now, I did actually put a video out on Facebook last night, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to link it into the show notes. I'd ask that if you are an instructor, give it a quick watch. If you agree with it, give it a share. That would be great, just to get the message out. Essentially, in the video, what I'm trying to do is encourage instructors to give these kids and young people on the spectrum a chance in their class. If a parent has come to you to ask you about your martial arts class for their child or family member who's on the spectrum, then they know those kids and young people better than anybody else. So they're not going to approach you for classes if they don't feel it's suitable. Again, just to go over it quickly, what I do ask for in the video is that we don't jump to the conclusions or ideas that it's not suitable, it's not safe. Don't use excuses like insurance. I get it. It's sometimes a little bit scary. You have to put yourself in a position that you're perhaps not comfortable with, but that's how we grow and that's how we learn. And you've got to remember that sometimes these kids have been passed poster pillar. They're jumped around activities one after the other, and it would be great if martial arts schools could be that sort of leading light, so to speak, in encouraging other providers to be more inclusive. So that's not to say that there aren't providers out there that are inclusive, but I think it is fair to say that there could be more. So yeah, take a look at the video. If you like it, if you agree with the message, give it a share. That would be great. The more we can spread the information, the better things will be. So moving on, obviously we've had our announcements today with Matt, and obviously the great interview with Mark earlier. As I say, if you're interested in getting along to the Redcon 1 showing and after party in Leeds on the 6th of October, then do get in touch and we'll try and coordinate something and make a good evening out of it. It's a Saturday night, so what better? And I've actually just looked on the event details as well, and there's a zombie walk in the afternoon as well. So if you've ever seen one of those on the internet before, they're really good fun. Not something, mind you, by Saturday afternoon after teaching for 6 days, I usually do look like a zombie, so I could just probably roll out the last class and just turn up straight there like a taekwondo zombie. But yeah, it's something to see. It's all good fun. If you're planning on going, get in touch and we can coordinate to meet up. That would be good. And then obviously head off to the party afterwards, and good times. So details on the coming episodes are going to be going live on the Facebook group in the coming days. If you're not already part of it, if you search for the Kickback with Chris Martial Arts Podcast Facebook group, obviously we've also got the website, which is kickbackpodcast.com or martialartspodcast.co.uk. If you go into those from phones, sometimes the website hangs for a few seconds before it loads. I don't know why. It's one of these techie things. I've asked our suppliers so many times to sort it out. They don't seem to be doing it for whatever reason, but you just have to try it twice, and then it will work. The website is real, put it that way. So if you go through to the website, you can get in touch through there, and yeah, lots of cool stuff to come. Just keep an eye out. I'm hoping to finalise a couple of interviews in the coming days, as I say, and then on to, let's say, round 2. We're nearly at episode 20 now. Maybe we could organise something special for that one. Any ideas, get in touch, and I'll catch you all next week, guys.
Enjoy our podcast? Please remember to subscribe, rate, and review Kickback with Chris on iTunes today.